Aloha, good morning. It's 9:29 on a Tuesday. What is it? November 19th. And we are back from our vacation. Took 31 days off and traveled to the Northeast to visit my mom, my sister, my nephew, and just take some time off and relax. My wife and I, when we vacation, we probably vacation a little bit different than most. We travel to wherever we're going. We hit up a Costco. We normally stay in timeshare. We cook our own meals, and then we spend the day just traveling around, learning the lay of the land. My wife's a realtor, so she likes to see real estate properties, see how things are going in other places. And usually if it's a hiking trail or a waterfall or a shoreline, we enjoy exploring that. Even cities. We after checking in with my mom and my sister, we went over to the Poconos in Pennsylvania. That's near the Delaware Water Gap. So the Delaware River is one of those big rivers on the East Coast, but unlike many rivers, there's no dams on it. It flows naturally. And so you have rapids, and then you have calm areas, and then you have rapids. And there's a lot of waterfalls that fall into that river along the Delaware Water Gap. And so we enjoy going there and seeing the waterfalls. There's hundreds of them, and we've been there a few times now. So we spent the first week doing that, and 2 years ago when we went, there was a lot of rain and the waterfalls were really charged up. This time there was an extreme drought and the waterfalls were pretty mild, to say the least. But still, we had a lot of fun doing that hiking. And then after a week in the Poconos, we went up to the White Mountains in New Hampshire, and we spent a week there. Got to see some snow. That's our first time going there. We'll probably be back to that area too. We enjoyed ourselves a lot. And after a week in New Hampshire, we went down to Rhode Island, to Newport, Rhode Island, one of the older cities in the United States. Lots of history. It's where the mega rich go to. That's where they have their summer homes. You know, the Rothschilds, and 40 bedroom homes. They look like hotels. All on the coastline. It's where the America's Cup was held for many, many years. So it's a big sailing community. At one time it was one of the larger naval bases on the East Coast. I don't know if it still is. But yeah, we spent 2 weeks there. It was our first time, and we just explored every little bit of it. We walked up and down the city for hours. We went to just about every beach on the island of where Newport's located. Can't remember, it's an Indian name, the island. There's I think Newport, Middleton, and Portsmouth, all on one island. We explored that whole island in and out. And then and the whole time we were there, it only rained the one day, and that was the day that we went hiking in the snow. That was the only time it rained, and the rest of the time it was bright blue skies, 60, 70 degree weather during the day, 40, 50 degree weather at night. And after about 4 weeks of that, I was ready to come home. I'm always happy to get home. I always feel super lucky I live in Hawaii, especially after traveling through the mainland. I know Hawaii's tough as far as making ends meet and stuff, but I think it's well worth it. But that's what we did for the last month. Now we're back. We came back on Sunday. I wasn't scheduled to work yesterday, but I came in and worked most of the day yesterday. And then finally today I'm back in my truck. It's been sitting for a month, so it's pretty nasty. We've been trying to clean it up a little bit. But yeah, we started work today at 6 o'clock. We're working on our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th movement already. And it's not even 9:30. But we came in at 6. We took a load of marine hardware over to the marine hardware store. So should you be buying a bilge pump or some fiberglass or marine hardware the next week or two, I might have had something to do with that. After that, we bobtailed back to our yard and we picked up a load of tile product, took it down to the tile distributor and stood by and offloaded that. 22 pallets of tile. I wonder how many bathrooms that makes. I would believe that could make a lot of bathrooms. Stood by, offloaded that. We took the empty back to the shipping terminal San Allen, picked up a load of mayonnaise, took that over to the food distributor and stood by and offloaded the mayonnaise. So if you're in a restaurant, the macaroni salad has the perfect amount of mayonnaise. I may have had a hand in that. And then we picked up the empty and brought it over here to the coffee distributor, and now we're loaded up with Hawaiian Kona coffee, the little K-cups to be exported to the mainland. So if you're on the mainland and you like your Kona coffee, I might be involved in that too. But that's where we're at. Wow. 7th movement of the day. Waiting on it. Standing by. It's good to be back. I feel kind of soft and weak after 31 days of, just playing. But within a week or two, I'm pretty sure I'll be sore and strong again. Anyway, it's good to be back. So the day was going really smooth up until just now. It's 12:17. 7th movement of the day, or maybe it's the 8th. After we dropped off that load of coffee to the shipping terminal, we bobtailed back to our terminal, picked up some paperwork, and then bobtailed back to the other shipping terminal. Picked up this load of packaging material for the warehouse. As soon as they put the container on the chassis started leaking air. So we dragged it over to the mechanics. The mechanic said, no, we can't fix it while it's got a container on it. So we went ahead and flipped the container onto a different chassis. No biggie. But when I pre-tripped the chassis, there was no problem with it. It's just for some reason, as soon as the weight was put on the chassis, it must have flexed an airline or a diaphragm or something, and just started leaking air from the back. It's always something. So we'll take this back to our terminal. We'll stick it in the yard. I'm not sure when the warehouse is going to want to unpack it. In fact, we probably should check in with the warehouse when we get there and see if they want it on the dock. But I was told by dispatch to put it in the yard. The main shipping terminal is closed for lunch until 1 o'clock, so got another half hour or so. No, 12:19. Another 45 minutes, 41 minutes. dropped a bunch of, it's like a cement truck just offloaded a little bit of cement on the ground. Yeah, I think if it wasn't for muscle memory, there's probably no way I'd be doing what I'm doing today. Driving trucks. It's hard work. I don't recommend it to anybody who doesn't want to work. Yeah, the most interesting thing we saw when we were in Pennsylvania was a bear. We had just come back from hiking, we were in the car, we're driving out of the parking lot, and there he was. I guess we surprised him because he looked at us with this big surprise and took off into the woods, only to turn around and come back. I guess the way he was headed was blocked. He didn't like that exit plan. We came back to the road, went down the road a little bit further, and then went back into the woods. So that was kind of exciting. The coolest thing we saw in New Hampshire was the snow. That was magical. And I'd have to say the greatest thing about Newport is just the history. You feel like, man, it's not where the ultra wealthy go to vacation. It's where the mega wealthy used to go to vacation back in the early days, you know. Just about every building we went to was, you know, 18 something, 1830s, 1840s, 1850s, all these historical buildings. Okay, so here we are. The docks are all full. Middle of the yard, it's kind of to go. You know what? I got a plan. I want to go in the fence, but I can't get there right now. It's all blocked up. But I'm thinking I can slip between containers in the middle and make my way to the back. See if we can. See if we can do it. This yard is always challenging, but it's fun because if you can get good in the yard, you go out on the road, everything is nice and easy. The landing gear before we back all the way in. That way I don't have to do the duck walk. So all the tractor drivers are driving flatbeds just to make hours. I thought, I don't want to make hours, I want to go home. It's gorgeous. Yeah, the containers are pretty empty, but the deliveries are out of control. It's all these last minute, deliveries for the season. Last touch deliveries, we call them. So we'll just drop this and then we'll check in with dispatch, see if there's anything else to do. That was cold. That was cold. Come look.
Yeah, it's cold. I told you my fingers were cold after touching this stuff.
I'm not sure if it's true or not, but the scientists say that these rocks have the exact same composition of rocks in Africa. Like at one time they were from the same area and then they've split apart over millions of years. That's a pretty cool thought. This is what the shoreline of Africa looks like in some places. Have some kind of vein of quartz material through it. I came out because I heard there's a sea otter that hangs out here somewhere. I haven't seen him. I'd be able to find a place where there's a pile of clamshells that just opened up and eat, but I haven't seen anything like that. I guess it's all been washed away or